Trump pressures NATO to halt Russian oil purchases. Washington, D.C., September 14, 2025. President Donald Trump has escalated his demands on NATO allies, urging them to immediately stop buying oil from Russia or risk undermining the alliance's unity and effectiveness. Speaking during a press conference at the White House on Saturday, Trump declared that as long as NATO members continue to purchase Russian energy, Moscow will remain financially empowered to sustain its war in Ukraine. "We cannot fight Russia with one hand while funding it with the other," he said. Linking sanctions to NATO action. Trump made clear that any new round of U.S. sanctions against Moscow would be tied directly to NATO's collective decision to halt Russian oil imports. He argued that piecemeal measures were ineffective, insisting that only a complete cutoff by NATO will end this war quickly. At the same time, the president threatened sweeping tariffs of 50% to 100% on Chinese imports, citing Beijing's continued purchases of Russian oil. India has already faced stiff U.S. tariffs over similar practices. Divided reactions within NATO. European leaders responded cautiously. While several NATO countries, including Poland and the Baltic states, welcomed Trump's call, others expressed hesitation, warning of potential spikes in global energy prices. Nations like Hungary, Slovakia, and Turkey remain heavily dependent on Russian oil and are reluctant to impose an outright ban. Analysts noted that NATO has made progress in reducing its reliance on Russian energy since the Ukraine invasion in 2022, but a total embargo still poses significant logistical and economic challenges. A political test for the alliance. Trump's remarks reflect his broader strategy of wielding economic pressure as a foreign policy tool. By tying sanctions and tariffs to NATO solidarity, he seeks to test the alliance's ability to act in unison. Critics, however, argue that Trump's approach risks deepening divisions within NATO at a time when cohesion is crucial. Some warn that his hardline stance could strain relations with key European partners already grappling with high energy costs. What comes next? U.S. officials confirmed that discussions with NATO leaders will continue in the coming weeks. Energy ministers across Europe are also weighing emergency strategies to secure alternative fuel supplies if Russian imports are cut off. For now, the question remains whether NATO will meet Trump's demand for a full oil embargo, and whether the alliance can balance energy security with the political and military urgency of pressuring Moscow.